We have about 2 hours till dusk, I think. Let's see for sure. 8:53, so a little longer than that. It's kind of sprinkling a little bit earlier. I think it's starting to start again right now. Yeah. Can't really feel it here though. All right, Moosh. Just had some people come through, which got Mooshy all excited. This is the sleeping setup. Tent and pad that are way overkill for just me and Moosh, but I want to try them out. So yeah, that's what we're doing. All right, so I'm here on the Manistee River Trail with Moosh, and it's about a little after 7 Saturday, May 6th, 2023. We're here at the bluff of the river on a kind of a curve on the other side, the outside curve side. Got a fire going. Been processing some firewood with the saw. And Mushi's just been chilling. I put the awning down on the tent because the way that this place is laid out is not very flat. So the flattest spot was to have my tent here, and the fire pit was already right here. So when the wind shifted, it started moving it into the tent with the awning up. So I put that down so the air would just flow from underneath, not hopefully get smoked too much. Although there is the high vent over here, which probably is sucking a little bit in. And then I kept this one open so it would keep the air flowing through. Mushy's bed is my jacket. And yeah, the river flows downstream this way. So I sent the drone up a little bit earlier between some sprinkling times and got some footage, but other than that, just been hanging out. I guess she doesn't want to sleep on the jacket right now. No? So there's a kind of a dirt road up here at the top of that bluff. You can see where that car is parked right there. And that kind of goes back around this whole thing back here. It curves. This is like a peninsula out here, so that goes all the way back behind here. And there's been some like side-by-sides and Jeeps and stuff that came back through here earlier, having a good old time, which is cool. And then we have a neighbor right down here at the end of the peninsula. You can kind of see their tent here. And we have a couple neighbors on this side. Oh, fish just jumped. I think I can get it through here. You can kind of see their tent. So then we're kind of off the main trail. It's my line for my bear bag. Well, just my food bag that'll hang later. And then this is the main trail And it comes down here to this cool little creek. And this is where I got my water from earlier that I purified. So hopefully my filter worked and I won't get sick, but I'm sure it's fine. Berry. Can't tell if this is 78, maybe 98. Or it's probably 18. 2018. I'm still living in the 1900s. Moosh was inside my vestibule when I came back from showing the stream there because I gave her some tender beef jerky. It's the Jack Link's tender. And it's pretty tender. I mean, I've had better, but I was at Meijer and that was like the most reasonable thing to buy. So she went under the vestibule to get in my food bag because she thought that she could do the same thing as the other night, which was like get a huge wedge of really good sharp cheddar. Can I talk? Sharp cheddar cheese. There's another fish that just rose. I don't know if you can tell, but there's quite a few gnats and shit out here today. They were killing me while I was setting up camp because I didn't bother to put any spray on. I have DEET spray, which I know is not great, but it works. And I have a head net, but that was like way overkill, it felt like, because they weren't mosquitoes, but it was still annoying. You can kind of see it. There's a little bit of like a hatch with these really super small flies. And I think that's what is landing on the surface. But there's actually a guy over here earlier, like right through these trees, that was fly fishing. And he must have hiked in. He was there for like maybe an hour and a half and then took off just after I got here. So we've been cutting up this log over here. You can see there's some pre-sawn ones on there. But I went and found this deadfall oak, and that will burn very nicely. I'm gonna maybe put it on there in sections, or I don't know. I don't really want to at this point saw anymore, so I might make use of that one there and then like put these in sections, let them burn, and then move them up as they burn. If we go that late in the night, that's why I haven't really processed that much firewood, because It's supposed to rain. It was sprinkling earlier, but I'm not sure if it's going to continue to stay just cloudy or start to come down. Because north is that way, so northwest is right here, and that's usually where our weather comes from. I don't know if you can see, but it looks fairly decent. I don't see any rain clouds, so let's hope and pray. So I mentioned the bear line earlier. For those of you that don't really backpack or are new to it, this is to keep bears away from you when you're backpacking. This should probably be further away from my tent, but it's, you know, it's May 6th. I'm not really worried about bears right now. I've never personally seen a bear in the wilderness myself. Living in northern Michigan my entire life of 40 years. So it doesn't mean that they're not here. I'm sure they are. So you're supposed to be 6 feet out from the tree, 12 feet up and 6 feet beneath the branch, which I don't really think this tree limb really gets that either, but I'm gonna just put it up, you know, 3 feet off the bottom of the branch, which will be about probably 12 feet up in the air. And that should do a pretty good job of keeping any black bears off my food and away from me. I usually bring a handgun, pistol, when I go backpacking, but my bag was at like 51 pounds, and I was like, what can I cut to lose a little bit of weight? So I took that off, and yeah, other than humans, there's really nothing to fear out here. Going with the earlier plan of burning those longer logs. And Moosh is just kind of like chilling. Still no rain. So I might go grab a couple more pieces of this stuff that I can find. If I can find it. But yeah, once it burns through that metal section there, I can kind of stomp it a little bit and then bring the outer ones inward, which helps with just like not having to cut stuff. These are about 4 feet here, about 3 feet, and then this one's about 5 feet. So that one has a big section on the end there that will burn really well once we can just get it off of that main log. Okay, so I'm gonna burn a little bit. I feel that they're ready. Maybe not all of them, but we'll see. Yeah, that one broke pretty good. I'm gonna stay on the other side since the wind is kind of moving the other way. The other one is still gonna burn for a while. I think maybe the inner one though. That one was a round, solid log that I saw. So it'll probably just keep going, but I'm gonna move this one that I broke here and move that up from that side, and then be careful over here. Take this piece that broke off. I'm just gonna throw that right in the middle. That kind of keeps this whole fire just moving a little bit. Yeah. So I ran out of booze, so I am gonna take another gummy. This is a cannabis gummy. I brought in like a fifth of Woodbridge whiskey, but that seemed to go down pretty quick. So awesome. Just one quick thing to talk about when you're burning a full log like this or partial section of a log like that, is that you'll get smoke coming up from sections where it's like really drying the moisture out. It's probably a very moisture-free piece. These things have been burning great, but you just get more of that white smoke, which is the bad smoke when you're having a campfire. So the soonest that you can find, if you're doing this method, to just like let this burn up here and then break off a section, that will be your most promising time to break out of this white smoke. That if you're all sitting around it, it's probably going up in your eyes. Me, I'm just here by myself. I can get away from it whenever I need to, but it hasn't been really blowing over towards my chair. So we're up on this basically cliff. I mean, the camera doesn't really look that inclined, but I mean, there's a good like probably 20-foot drop there before you hit something. Over here it gets a little bit steeper, and this is probably like 25 or 30 feet before you actually hit down here. So just be careful when you're walking around at night in the evening. It's currently 8:33. It's supposed to get dark at 8:53, so we have 20 minutes till dusk. You can see my neighbor down here has their fire going. Yeah, bro. And then neighbors over here I just see more smoke than anything from these guys. There's another group down here, different smoke. I kind of saw their fire earlier, but I'm not sure if they're keeping it with like flames extended. They might be letting it die down to smoke more than anything else. I think I need to get more firewood. So these are the two dead balls that I've been pulling that oak off of. Really nice, healthy trees. Probably fell down a few years ago from a big storm or something like that. But sometimes well, I've been getting bigger pieces, but sometimes these big shards is what I call them. Like a shard. They're easy to get. Or even this one I might just saw. Like with my saw. And at least from the side. And it just makes it easier to like rip off too. So least amount of effort is the best for the most product. And this guy right here I'm going to try to take here in a minute. Might take off a big chunk too. And then I'm definitely looking at these down here as well. So those will be what I'm burning. Somehow maybe this tree wasn't healthy because it's all hollow on the inside. You want to see a butthole waiting back. How about you come when I say come? So we went ahead and harvested as much of that like fallen tree, the oak that was, the inside was basically rotted. I think some of this might be the inside. It's a little spongy, but it might have been sitting there long enough to be okay. We'll see. I'll try a smaller piece to get next to it before I put that big one in. But yeah, that's what we got. Like I said, don't really want to process firewood tonight at this point. So I'm gonna try to break this one again. I think it's gonna come off. It's gonna at least fold over enough to like make a new section. So I'll move that up. It was back here. I'm gonna move that up. So the best wood is gonna burn in the best part of the fire. And now we've opened up a channel where we can stack something else across it. My favorite method is the log cabin, or whatever you want to call it. 2 across the sides, and then 2 across the other sides. Which, when you start to lean like this, it causes kind of a problem. There's a piece behind there, so I'm not going to make it perfect, but I think we have a little time to let this burn. Just hanging out here with Mushi. Mushi's by the tent. I put that down because the awning was up, and it makes sort of a ceiling that you can lean under. It was raining or sprinkling earlier, but the fire smoke started going that way, so I wanted to bring that down. So the vents were not open. I see that I have the middle open right now, but I'm sure some of the upper one is sucking in a little bit of smoke, but just wanted to try to keep the inside, you know, less smoke while I'm smoking. Well, it's now starting to sprinkle here pretty decent. Let's see this. The river gives a better picture. It's not bad, you can hear it. Still not really falling on the tent too much because we were under a tree. So this really protects you when you're in these trees. Like, it's sprinkling out there pretty good. You can see it. I mean, it's splashing. If you look down, you see like a mist because it's splashing. Come on. But right here, I mean, I feel a few sprinkles, but nothing too overwhelming. So we'll try to ride it out for a little bit. How you doing, Bush? You good? You just had a bunch of water. You want to go in the tent? I just stoked the fire a little bit ago, so it's starting to like catch on pretty good. We're still working with this, remember that split piece. It's now kind of this triangle. Seems to be making a pretty good fire. We're gonna take her inside the tent because it's both her and my first time out this year, so we're gonna take it easy. That's why we're doing a one-nighter. And let's see if we can get her comfortable. Okay. Maybe we'll turn the headlamp on or something. Make it kind of cozy. But cool. Make you like a little doggy door down here. You good? So we've got Mushy tucked away in there. You can see the lights on. Still letting this fire burn. I have a little more fuel here. Prefer to not have to go in there. That's where I've been getting it. That's where that downfall is. But you know, if the rain holds out and I'm still not really sleepy, it's only 9:04, so it's technically been dusk for like 11 minutes. 8:53 was sundown today. You can see my neighbor down here. Actually, his fire's not going very good right now. I had one over here. Yeah, you can see it. They're kind of back in the woods a little bit. It's a little bit of a marshy area. That's not really that like somewhere that I would prefer to stay, because you get lots of, well, one, the frog sound that I don't mind from over here gets really loud because it's all around you, and that to me is just like, I need earplugs. But the other thing is that you get really bad bugs down there. I mean, I haven't been up on this bluff, but I bet that they have some more mosquitoes and things that are breeding in the water. Maybe not. Maybe it's the same. Who knows? Just gonna check on Fish. I made her dog door a little bit smaller so she could just kind of come in and out here. But she's now curled up on my pillow. Well, where my head's gonna be, my face. So I appreciate your muddy paws being right there. And right here is a charging cord for my phone. I have a, you can see up here, I have a power supply. Yeah, she's comfortable. Great. Just gonna chill there, go to sleep. Okay. So now another thing I'm gonna try is moving this log that's over here that I actually moved back from next to the fire because I wanted to put my chair over here earlier, but now it's so swirly. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move this log back from over here to by the campfire, back far enough, kind of where it was, in hopes that it'll get hot enough, basically, I think, to make the air rise up without being on fire, away from the campfire more effectively, and keep that smoke away from the tent. And I think that's maybe why it was here. I thought it was weird how close it was to the campfire, and now it's kind of making more sense. So we'll see if that works. Okay, we're back. I moved it over close to where it was. I thought it was weird how close it was to the fire because you couldn't really sit on it and enjoy the fire. It was like way too close. But now I'm thinking that maybe there is a little bit of logic to that because all the smoke has seemed to be going the opposite way since we put it there. There was this log over here, which isn't really in the jam zone either, but it's by a tree, which maybe you can lean back, but it's still kind of far away. And I'm kind of far away right now too, just because I don't want to be in the smoke, but I'm sitting in my chair. think that either the wind shifted for a while. It's now coming out of the southeast, blowing out, or there's more to that log thing, and I'll have to keep an eye on it and see what happens. One thing I forgot on this trip that I'm really regretting is my just camp shoes. Whether that be sandals or like slip-ons, like slippers, something light. Just not wearing new boots all day long, which I loosened them up and now they're like gangsta style. But yeah, just letting your feet air out after hiking. So I am zipped into the vestibule now. Brought my chair in, got my boots. Kind of worried about the splash on this. Just boots up here. Got my water, and I'm gonna bring this thing inside. Oh, Lucy. Got her food over here. I'll just bring that up on the floor too. Just to be a little extra safe. There's a tree right through here, so maybe moving underneath in 1 minute is supposed to delay you from the thunderstorm until 10. Okay, I'm trying to show you my sleep setup here. Below we have the Big Agnes. It's the Aircore Ultra insulated, double wide. So this is taking up like the entire footprint of the tent almost. The feet narrow down, so you're all well familiar with that concept. So that pretty much takes up everything at the feet, and then up at the top it leaves like 6 inches around each door and then the front. So it actually fits this really well if you can get 2 adults in here really comfortably, like for a nice backpacking night out. Or I'm planning on also taking my 2 younger children, 9 and 5. So, you know, we can all squeeze on this, no problem. So anyways, as you know, the pad is very important because it keeps you warm. It's like half of your insulating factors. So this is my first time trying this pad out. It's supposed to be insulated. We'll see. So I have the Nemo Forte 20-degree bag, and then start with the Outdoor Vitals pillow, and then also have a second Nemo pillow that I'll kind of like lay on here with my arms, kind of hug the pillow when I sleep. So hopefully that'll be warm. It's only like down to 58 tonight, so not worried about temperatures at all. I'll leave this thing unzipped all the way and keep it off me and then put it on as needed. The mesh is coupling up with the Mountain Hardwear Stretch GS jacket.